Welcome to the Profit Lifestyle for Fitness Entrepreneurs podcast. My name is Scott Carpenter. I am a personal trainer turned multiple gym owner and investor who's already been through the rock bottom and near bankruptcy in the fitness business. But I've been lucky enough to come out the other side and have turned the profits of my fitness business into indestructible wealth. I'll be sharing the no bullshit strategies, tactics, and advice to win big in business and in life. So if you're a gym owner, a personal trainer, or an online coach who wants to make multiple six figures in take-home profit and have the freedom with your time to actually enjoy it, subscribe now to this podcast. This is the show for you. All right, welcome everybody. Welcome back to the Profit Lifestyle for Fitness Entrepreneurs. I'm Scott Carpenter. With me is Andy Boymilla. And today we're going to talk about the key to keeping your staff forever. Just kidding. You're not going to keep anybody forever, more than likely.
Everybody will always leave, but we're going to talk about how to make sure your staff feels valued, how they feel seen, and how they can grow within your business to make sure that they are happy and stay with you until it's time for them to go explore something else.
Yep, absolutely. And I've had guys that have been with me for over 10 years, right? So it's possible to keep them a long time, keep them forever. There's different ways to do these kind of things.
Yep.
But we want to talk about the main things that you can do or look into doing. And because at the end of the day, what hurts our business the most is usually losing our trainers and coaches. Period.
Oh, I feel that in my heart right now, in my soul.
Oh, yes, you do.
Scott.
Yes, you
That's
do.
fine.
Andy's down somebody, and it's...
I was down a couple of coaches. We have fixed that problem. Well, we're in the process of fixing that problem. But yes, I know that problem. And if you ever want a sob story or you ever want to just do a pity party about staff, shoot me a message. I'll be more than happy to talk about it.
Yep. And
we can all have a cry session together. But anyway, moving on, let's talk about how to keep staff, because I've also done that as well.
Yes, absolutely. And there's complicated, there's a lot of things, but at the end of the day, employees really kind of need three different things. Is they want to be valued as an employee, right? People want a better place to work. I have left jobs in the past because my voice didn't matter, my opinions didn't matter, this, that, the other. It's not that I'm not a flower or a snowflake or this or that, but first of all, they need a boss they can respect.
Yep.
Right? They need a boss they can respect who is also interested in them and can listen to them. They want to feel valued. Nobody just wants to feel like an unappreciated robot.
And here's one of the things that goes a long way to understand when it comes to showing value and appreciation for your team members. Not everybody understands appreciation or receives appreciation in the same way. And this is something that I do with every single one of my staff, and it's called the 5 love languages. And it has gone a long way for me to help me keep my staff, because it's one thing for me to sit there and tell one of my staff members, hey, great job. But if they don't receive appreciation or understand value in that context, it's called words of affirmation, it doesn't land. It doesn't fill their tank. It doesn't make them feel valued, right? Maybe their love language is quality time. And if that's the case, you know what I do? I schedule workouts with that team member. Hey, why don't you and I go do a workout? Hey, why don't you and I go grab lunch? Right? Understanding your staff's love language, their individual ones, goes a long way to helping make sure that the value, that the appreciation you're trying to show them is heard and received in the right way. Because if you're trying to give somebody appreciation and show them that you value them in a way that doesn't resonate with them, then it lands on deaf ears and it doesn't help fill their tank. So it goes it's pretty much useless.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, that's a really good point. And, appreciation, people see it in different ways. You can do it privately, which is great. And even better is when you can do it publicly.
Yeah.
When you recognize their achievements or just something they did, it doesn't have to be an achievement, guys. It can be the fact that they spent 5 extra minutes talking to one of your clients to help with retention, help them give them a better rate. That's awesome. And if you can praise that in front of the whole team and they get that recognition from the team, that's really powerful. It's really powerful.
I heard a quote somewhere, and I wish I could remember where it was because it's such an awesome quote. And the quote basically goes something like this. It goes, I don't remember the exact word, but scorn in private, praise in public.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Exactly. And that's exactly right too. You don't, if they made a mistake, if it's not a big deal, it's fine because you can address it as a team, right? Because hey, this blah blah blah. But if it's something, most of the time, it's a one-on-one conversation with something like
Right.
that, right? Because they don't want to look bad in front of other people, right?
No.
They're going to get embarrassed. Right? You don't want that. If it's a simple mistake or whatever, like that's not a big deal. But if it's something that they're going to really be self-conscious about, no, that's a private conversation. But
100%.
they want to be valued, right? They want to be
Yep.
valued. You've got to be a good, I don't even like the word boss, right? But a good leader. You need to be a good leader and show value as a human being, not just what have you done for me today. That gets pretty damn old, pretty damn quick. Nobody wants to work for that person. As long as you're not that person and you're showing as caring, you're way more than halfway there, right?
Yeah.
A second thing that they really value is growth. This doesn't mean necessarily by promotions or more responsibility. A lot of times people don't want more responsibility or promotion. They're happy where they're at. But they want to be learning and growing in some capacity, getting better at their craft. And this can be the hard skills, right? Of learning, doing a group training session, like with your employees, where you're going to teach the ins and outs on this skill set or corrective exercise or this or that. That's great, right? Teach different methods on kettlebell or whatever. That's great. It keeps them learning. It keeps things different, exciting, growth, right? But there's also the soft skill stuff.
Yeah.
Being a better coach, right? Learning how to handle nutrition better with clients. And there's a lot of soft skills, whether it's sales. Most people don't like that. So reframe that a little bit. But it's just being persuasive, influential. So they can help their clients get better results when they get outside of the gym. That's really what it is.
But here's the other thing too. Growth for most human beings doesn't only happen in their workplace. So as a leader, as a business owner that has a staff underneath them, can you help them grow in ways outside of your business?
Yep.
And that is huge.
Huge. So that's really the secret, and kind of really ties in the financial aspect too. They're tied because the third is like, this job has to meet their economic engine.
Of course.
They've got to, pay is not the biggest thing, but man, it's gotten hard out there. The cost of cars and gas and housing, if they want to buy a house, they want to start a family. And if they can't make enough to do that, or they don't think they can make enough to do that with you, they're going to have no choice but to leave you. Right. And this is tough because as gym owners, we're getting squeezed, right? We're seeing GLPs and peptides take a lot of the business that we would have other had. So please, if you don't know how to bolt that shit on, contact us. You can make a ton of money really easily with it. And you can use this as an asset, not a liability. Okay. But the fact of the matter is, we're getting fewer and fewer organic leads in most markets because people are seeking these easier methods. You need to be a part of that solution. But it's getting harder for gym owners. And a lot of times our leases have all gone up. Our insurance rates have all gone up, skyrocketed since COVID. A lot of times our prices haven't. And so even if you're making the same amount of money you were making 5 years ago, great. You're actually making 30% less because inflation has just gone skyrocketed. And there's not tons to pay your employees 30% more either. So they're also feeling that. And if they can't make enough money to go where they need to go in life, maybe they want to buy a house, maybe they want to start a family. If they feel they can't do that under your umbrella, being employed by you, they're going to have no choice but to go somewhere else, even if they'd really rather work for you.
Right.
And when Andy, what you said is helping people get what they want, like in their personal life and grow in their personal life. This is a big thing. And you need to be proactive about this. You need to know your employees and where they want to go. And what are your short-term and long-term? Where are you going? What's your vision? If it's somebody who's 25, do they have a long-term girlfriend or boyfriend? Do they eventually want to get married? Do they want to have kids, right? Do they want to live in Arizona or Massachusetts or wherever, right, for the rest of their lives? Figure that stuff out. Learn about them a little bit. And I just flew into Atlanta, Georgia, and I went to Peyton and Lane, Montgomery. They have an awesome gym there. and it's gorgeous, by the way. But they rented an office building and a realtor building, and I did an all-day, 8-hour training with their whole staff on financial education and planning, which sounds horrendous to have like an 8-hour day to do that. But it was awesome. It was so collaborative. We had one that was around 40, married, right? She was married. The others, the other three, not including Peyton and Lane, they were in their 20s. One married, just had his first kid. The other two were single. One was wanting to get married. The other wants to get like a ranch at some point and have, animals and all that kind of stuff. So we talked about their visions, where they want to go. And Lane and Peyton, had me fly out to talk about all the different things they need to be doing on budgeting, on credit, on like, hey, listen, if these young guys in their 20s want to buy a house, it's a lot more expensive than it used to be. Yep. And they are getting the credit for this, not me, right? But Peyton and Lane, the owners, are getting credit for bringing me out. And I teach that because, listen, all of those people can buy homes with the money that they're making as a trainer or a coach, but not by accident. If they don't do things now and budget and save and put things into high yield savings and then learn how to manage their credit score to get qualified, the different ways they can grow. A lot of them wanted to do real estate for investments. We talked about house hacking like you've done, Andy.
Great.
Man, you get 2, 3, 4 unit buildings, FHA loan, first time home buyer, 3.5% down. They won't have a mortgage. It'll be paid by other people.
Right.
But they don't know how to do that. And Peyton and Lane were smart enough, like, holy cow, if I can teach these guys things that are going to change their life dramatically, if I can help them get everything that they want out of their lives under our gym's umbrella, I'm going to keep them for a lot longer than otherwise would have.
Right. Like, here's the thing. If you don't provide it for them, they're going to go look somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Right. And here's the other thing too. I know my generation, right? I'm a millennial. I can't speak for all millennials, but every millennial I've ever talked to, we didn't grow up with good financial education, right? Because our parents didn't have good financial education. I don't blame my parents for it. They didn't have it. I can't blame them for what they didn't have giving to me, right? Like, that's not how this works. But like, so I have gone out and gotten a financial education. But here's the thing. I can sit here and say, cool, yes, I know about whole life insurance policies. I know about interest. I know about high yield savings. I know about house hacking. And I know about flipping houses and all these things. But I know that because it's something I've learned.
Yeah.
And what we have to remember is just because we know something doesn't mean that other people do. And it's so true that there is just not as much financial literacy in today's world as there probably should be. And just like the fitness industry, if they are paying attention to any of it, there's a lot of noise a lot of the time, right? And so like your staff is going to want to grow. They're going to want to live the life that they want to live. As their boss, as their leader, as their employer, it should be your obligation to help them get there. Mm-hmm. And that includes educating them on whatever it is they need education on.
Yep.
Right. Like in the past, I've helped a staff member buy a car because they just never bought a car, but like their parents had bought a car for them in the past. Right. But they were older. They were in their 20s. They're like, I don't want to rely on my parents. I was like, cool. Like, let's sit down. I'll kind of give you some tips and tricks. And, I'll kind of talk you through the process, what that looks like, and then go and do it. And if you have any questions, come back. And they went and shopped around a little bit. They talked to one dealer. They came back. They were like, hey, asked me about this and that. I gave them more information and they went and finally bought a car. And they're like, Andy, I wouldn't even know when to start.
Yeah.
Like prior to that. But I knew they wanted to buy a car because I sat down with them and I said, what do you want to do in the next 30 to 90 days? And they said, I'd love to buy a new car. And I said, great. What do you need from me in order to do that? And they said, I don't even know where to start. I said, great, let's start from square one.
That's it. There's not many people, like not many employers give a shit about their employees.
No.
They don't. And if you can just help them be better people, move their lives along, that transcends work. And even if they do leave you, they're going to have glowing review. They're not going to do it on a shady way. They're going to say amazing things about you. You know what I mean? It's just, And a lot of times we've seen where people have left, but then they refer somebody to work for you 3 years down the road when they run into somebody. It's just, if you can do this stuff, it has cascading effects for you. Some of you, like the title of this podcast is The Profit Lifestyle. It's right. It's about living the life that you want. Money is a part of that, and growth and education and all that kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, like, some of you need to learn how to do this yourselves. A lot of us as business owners, that's why I built that Indestructible Wealth educational course. And if you want access to it, just email me, scott@theprofitlifestyle.com. And I can get you the information on that one. But that was like an 18-hour course on everything from fixing credit blemishes to getting lines of credit and getting funding, to investing in stocks, to investing in real estate, to learning about infinite banking and life insurance, to all these different things, doing multiple locations, the right LLC structure, all that kind of stuff. And it's invaluable because I've always been big. There's two big things for you to live a really good life. Number one is your physical fitness. Obviously, we can all agree on that one because we do what we do. And the second one is your financial fitness. You knock out those two things, your life is so much easier. Mm-hmm. Just so much easier. And so you need to take yours seriously. And if you can help your people take that seriously too, they're going to love you forever. When you can help them get their dream house. I mean, that happened with another business, Taylor, right? Yeah. He's been with us for years. I didn't realize how big of an impact it was until on that one call, he said, yeah, you know what, you guys have changed the entire direction of my life. I forget that because, again, he just built his dream home. He's about to move into it. He's got his old home.
Literally, the end of this month, I think, is when he's planning on moving in, which is awesome. Because I remember literally talking to him like a year ago. He's like, we're breaking ground. And I was like, that's so awesome. And now he's about to move into his dream home.
Yeah, it's insane. It's that we switched his crappy whole life policy over into really good infinite banking policy. It's going to net him $1 million more by the time he's 65 for putting no more money into it, just fixing it. Yeah. It's going to, by the time he's like 85, it's going to be like $3 million cash difference that we're going to have his investment make. We did that, right? And then he kept his old house to rent it out, right? Instead of selling it and using the down payment. So he's got that passive income. He's going to start up his second gym. He's going to sign the lease on it. And he's like, it's completely changed the course of my life. And I just forget that because I always feel like we need to do more for everybody. I sometimes need to hear that. And it's awesome. But that's the same thing you can, if you do that, if your employees say that, guys, it's going to buy you a ton of loyalty, guys.
Right.
Really is. And so hopefully.
So remember, they want to be valued, they want to grow, and it needs to financially meet their requirements.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Those are the three things. And, I'll probably create a course for business owners that they can take to their employees too. But I have it for business owners. It's just a lot different for staff because it's a lot different owning a business versus being a W-2 employee. Right. But I'll probably create the employee version and that stuff you can use with your staff as well. So if I can help you out on anything, whether it's building you infinite banking policies or educating you or getting access to that course, whatever it is, reach out, Scott@theprofitlifestyle. Happy to help this and do this for you. This is what we do for all our clients, of course. Yep. It's not just building your business, making you profitable. It's taking the profits and helping you turn that into indestructible wealth so you can never have to worry about money. You can live the lifestyle that you want. And
that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. So we'll make this one short and quick because I know both you and I have to jet right now.
We do.
Appreciate you guys listening in. In the show notes, we'll leave some links for you, all that good stuff. Like, subscribe, share, do all the fun stuff. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next week on the podcast. Listen, if you're stuck and could use some advice in your business, whether you're just starting out, a veteran in the business, or expanding online or into multiple locations, you can hop on a free call with us to pick our brains at ptlegends.com/one-on-one call. You can see that in the show notes. That is with numbers. Chances are we'll be able to help you get some clarity on what you need to do specifically in your business to get to the next level. It's not a sales call. We'll connect you with the right resources to help you solve your problems. But if you want to learn more about working with us, that's cool too. We can share that information should you want it. So book your call now to get out of the rat race before your week consumes you, which is easy to do at ptlegends.com/one-on-one call. That's with the number 1 on the number 1 call. You can find this in the show notes. See you soon.